two contracts. There's a $7 million, $10 million contract. There's also a $3 million contract. NJDEP manipulated, I'm saying that as an attorney, they manipulated my client and my provider of services away from me to another person.
George, pardon me.
It does deal with the plan. It does deal with the plan. You do this to everybody. You break up the thought pattern. Please, it develops into the
George,
answer.
we just have to keep
I'm on point, and I've got 5 minutes. Thank you. Minus that. So, what happens is this. You've got all these people developing. I'll give you one example. A man up in Newark said, 1954, he looks at it and goes, why can't my truck be on that ship like that? What did he develop? Containerized freight. I developed something on the Delaware River, and I'm listening to NJDEP work the deal with somebody else, with a private contractor. What you're talking about is you're talking about setting up the perfect marriage of government and private entity, the partnership. Excuse me, when somebody develops an innovative aspect and it's a $50 million business, the state isn't going to let you get in on it. The guy that's got the partnership isn't going to let you get into it. So when you develop a better product, which raises the higher standard of living because it costs less to provide a service, what happens? You get stonewalled. Please, the best government is a government that governs the least.
Yes.
And if you want to
Yes.
have any questions
Yes.
about specifics, I will provide it to you. Very specific. Thank you.
Thank you.
Rick from Lakewood Township, followed by Chris Rodriguez. Green?
Right.
There you go.
My turn? What he's...
Yeah. Yep, you're up.
Either way?
This thing on? According to the great philosopher DMX, he said it like this: if you eat long enough, stop being greedy. Get it to the needy. This thing on?
I have to say, is this going to go to the state plan?
Yeah, it's a
Okay.
state plan.
Just making sure.
I mean, for urban areas that need money, you know, we can, take it like, most of your ancestors did in the past, or, y'all can get with the program. That's it. Peace.
Thank you. Rick. Sir. Rick, Chris Rodriguez is up after Rick.
I'm going to find out what this gentleman is actually
Good
talking
evening, I'm
about.
Rick Denise, professional planner here tonight on behalf of Lakewood Township.
I'd much rather talk to the gentleman outside. We're going to go see what this fellow... Sir, no, I want to find out what you were talking about because I didn't get it, and I think you have a great message. Would you like to tell me in more detail? Are you sure? Thank you for coming. Thanks. Peace. I'm recording.
I can't talk.
You can talk, but it'll be recorded.
Was I clear enough?
Yes. Thank you.
And I didn't mention anybody's name, so.
No. Thank you.
Rick, I just have to stop you. Is this relating to the state plan or a particular issue in Lakewood?
Well, we feel that Lakewood, for example, has components that reflect parts of the state plan, and that...
Okay, but it's got to be related to the state plan. How does that relate to the state plan?
I think, from what I've heard tonight, some of your components aren't cohesive enough. There's a lot of scattershot going on. And this is an example where we have all the components, but somehow it's an example that lost in the shuffle. And I think you need to do more analysis in-house and take advantage of your own matrices and your own analyses as you look at specific areas. Because I just feel there's a lot of inconsistencies in what you're talking about.
Okay, thanks, Rick.
Chris Rodriguez, and then Mirsad Monsik. Chris.
Hi. Yeah, no, it's okay. I'm fine. My name is Chris Rodriguez. I'm a planning student at the Blessing School. And after reading the plan, I had a few comments that I'd like to make. And the first is that I think the plan in general takes a step in the right direction towards sustainability, towards denser denser development, less dependence on sprawl type development. But I get the impression that even though the plan likes to know, would like to be in a certain area where our development is more dense and our development is more oriented in a different sort of way, it doesn't really know how to get there. And so, you know, in terms of economic development, we always have to deal with the realities that are present. And one of those is a limited budget, of course. I'm sure you guys have felt it. I work in a municipality. I'm definitely feeling it. And one of the limits of having a small budget is, of course, that you have to be more resourceful. And that's frankly something that I have not seen mentioned at all in the state budget. I understand that there's incentives that are placed on businesses. I know this works, empowerment zones, whatever you'd like to call it, that's fine. But I would like to see more creativeness in terms of anything. Credit unions, I don't know, land trusts. There's so many things that you could name that is just overlooked or not seen. There's some things that are being done in terms of transit-oriented development, and that's great. That's things that we need. That's some things that, you know, the state plan has been, to a degree, creative on. More reliance on bike paths, et cetera, et cetera. But in terms of economic development, there hasn't been any ground covered. And I've looked at the 2001 plan, and frankly, there's no difference. The plan's the same. And there needs to be some work on that.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chris.
Thank you, Chris.
Mirza, and then John Cummins. Maybe I'm...
No, thank you. I'll just keep it short, so you won't have to ask me if it relates to the plan or not. But this is unfortunately the first meeting that I've attended because I feel like there is a lack of transparency, and I was lucky enough to stumble upon the fact that there was a hearing tonight, unfortunately the last one, which I questioned too. The minimum is 6 meetings, and that's all they're doing is the minimum. I feel like a group of maybe 70 to 100 people, it's 6 different meetings, a total of 500 people, does not represent the consensus of the state population of 9 million total.
Yes.
So I do feel it's very candid. And I'll go on to say that I just really feel, I object to this completely. I think that basically, you know, you use great rhetoric, smart, sustainable growth, but ultimately what this is an assault on your civil liberties and your property rights. That's right.
Yep.
As well as an
Thank
attack
you.
on American sovereignty, which this will set the precedent for. So, as a an American citizen, I love this country. I think it's great, but I mean, there's just it's going on too far. You know, you, sir, as a 4th-generation New Jersey resident, should oppose this as well, because you said you have children and like that. This is ultimately setting the precedent for land grabs, and if you don't stand up and speak now, it's time to move out when they tell you to go, because this is already taking place in California. One example is Sonoma County, where they won't force you out per se, but for example, the budget the following year, they said they're going to stop paving certain roads. So once your infrastructure starts failing because they feel that that's not sustainable or that's not an area you should belong in, it's time for you to move out. They'll force you out eventually. So that's all I have to say. Thanks for your time.
Thank you.
John Cummins, and then Doug Sharrow.
I was concerned about development in New Jersey. Looked to me like the major problem that we've got with development is industry or farming or just about anything looks at tax rates here and sees a difficulty of making a go. For instance, the property taxes, if you can't make enough money to come up with the property taxes in addition to whatever you're trying to fund to get your business started. Starting a business is not easy. It requires you to make a little bit of money, to invest a little bit of money, and when we're funding massive, I guess it's a bureaucracy, planning what to do with the money that we're going to send up to the state and things like that, it kind of gets in the way of starting a business. I mean, you've already got a place where you want to do business, you've got something you want to do, and if you cannot see clear to getting a business off the ground with the tax rates the way they are, you look at the history, you see they're going up, and you kind of go, there's nothing for me to do but maybe work for the state and get some of the tax money instead of...
That's socialism.
Anyway.
That's called socialism.
Yes.
Yeah,